Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to get this look. So I've done the hair and the makeup for you guys. I posted this look on my Snapchat a couple of weeks ago, and so many of you requested that I do a tutorial on it, so here it is. If you want to learn how to get this hair and this makeup, then just go ahead and keep watching. So I'm going to start out by doing my eyes, and I always am going to start with a primer when I'm doing any eyeshadow look. So this is the MAC 24-Hour Extend Eye Base from the Prep and Prime line, and I just put this on with my finger. Just a thin layer is all you need. You really just need a tiny bit of this product, and then I'm going to go ahead and set it with the color Brilliance from my Stila Eyes of the Window palette. And you always want to make sure you set the eyeshadow base so that the other shadows that we put on top of it blend out really easily and they don't get patchy. Next, I'm going in with my first transition color, and this color is Genius from the Stila palette. It's just a really light, kind of almost skin toned, like light peachy shade, and I'm just putting this in my upper crease area with a MAC 224 brush. And this is just going to help all of the other shadows blend together. Then I'm going to go in with that same exact brush and take the color Instinct from my Stila palette, and this is just going to deepen up the crease a little bit more, and I'm putting this a little bit lower. I'm not taking this up as high as I did the first shade, but again, just kind of deepening that crease. And one more color into the crease, we're using the color Observation from the Stila palette. This is more of a brownie type shade, like a cool toned brown. And concentrating this really into the crease, not blending it high into the upper crease like I did the other two. And I'm also putting this in the outer V a little bit. I'm really trying to create the shape of this eyeshadow with these transition colors, because obviously we're going to go in with some pretty dark shadows to create this really dark, smoky, metallic eye. And I like to map out the shape with these lighter shadows first. Now I'm taking the color Blue Velvet from my Anastasia Beverly Hills Artist palette, and I'm just taking a kind of short shader brush, really is what this is, and I'm packing that color onto my lid, and I kind of pull my lid obviously to the side so that I can get this pigment into all the little creases of my eyelid. So I know some people say this is bad, like pull on your eyelids, but I kind of have to in order to get the pigment to be smooth on my lid. Then once I've packed it on, I just go in with a blending brush and kind of start blending it into my crease a little bit, just to make sure that the shadow is smooth and transitioning easily into those other colors we put into the crease. You'll see me go back and forth with this 224 brush a lot in and out of the crease as I pack on more color, just to make sure that I keep the blend and the kind of fade of colors going nicely into that upper crease area. Then I'm taking a little tiny blending brush and the black color from my Stila palette, and I'm just packing in this onto the outer V of my eye and also onto the inner corner. Just really want to deepen up the inner and outer corners with this black shadow, and then I'm going to, of course, blend it out. So now I'm taking my MAC 217 brush and just going in to blend out that black shadow, just to make sure there no harsh lines and everything's really seamless and blended. With black shadow, you always want to go in like with a little bit of color first and just add pigment as you go. You don't want to put too much black shadow on to begin with, because it just is so impossible to blend out if you put too much black. So you can really kind of see the shape of this eye coming together here, and it's going to just continue to get better because I haven't done my concealer or anything, so we're going to sharpen it up with concealer, but you can kind of already see the kind of cat shape coming together. So now I'm taking the star of this look. This is the MAC Extra Dimension eyeshadow in the color Lunar, and I am so obsessed with this eyeshadow, you guys. It is so beautiful. I mean, holy crap, like look at it. You can just see it's like holographic or something. I don't know how to explain it, but it's so pretty. So I just packed it onto my lid with that same short shader brush first dry, and then I'm going to go in and spray my brush with Fix Plus and just pack another layer of this shadow on, but with a wet brush so that it kind of intensifies the pigment a little bit. And then I'm going back to my little small blending brush with just a tiny bit more black shadow because I feel like I blended a little bit of it away. And I just want there to be that definition on the inner and outer corner. So the blue is like a little spotlight on the center of the lid. And of course, going back into my blending brush just to make sure that the edges are all blended. And then I'm going back in with my 224 and I put a little bit of the color Wit on this brush just to add some warmth into the upper crease area of my eye and to help me blend out those edges yet again, just so that everything fades really seamlessly. And now we're going to move on to the lower lash line. So I'm taking this little pencil brush and I'm putting the color Wit on my lower lash line, just bringing it down pretty far as well. I want the lower lash line to kind of match the smokiness of the lid. So I'm starting with this color and just connecting my inner, like my corners. So connecting my top lash line with the lower lash line and just blending that color. And then I'm going to go in with a smaller angled brush and taking Blue Velvet and just packing this really close to my lash line before I go in with the pencil brush and blend it out. And you can see how I'm really trying to connect that lower lash line color with the lid, just to make sure that the shape of the eye is just really seamless and connected. And then I'm taking a little bit of the black shadow and putting that on the outer third of my lower lash line. And finally putting in some blue eyeliner into my waterline. Then I'm going to go ahead and just kind of line my top lash line with a little bit of black eyeshadow. I don't want to put a wing on this look. I just want to be able to kind of darken my lash line so that the lashes blend really easily. And just going back and forth with my little blending brush until I just feel like it's perfectly blended. These dark smoky looks are seriously all about blending. You just have to take your time. Now I'm going to curl my lashes, add some mascara, and put on some falsies. For false lashes, I'm using some Ardell Glamour ones. I think they're like curvy. I don't remember the number, but I will list them in the description box for you. For my inner corner highlight, I'm just using my MAC Soft and Gentle. I'm also kind of intensifying that on my Cupid's bow and putting it on my brow bone. For lips, I'm taking my LA Girl lip liner in Natural and just kind of lining my lips with this. And then I'm going to use MAC's Myth lipstick on the center of my lips, really kind of blend the two together. And then I'll top it off with my NARS Larger Than Life lip gloss in the color Puree. And then that completes the makeup look. I obviously did my face makeup off camera for this just to save time, but now we're gonna move on to the hair. And you guys are gonna laugh when you see how easy this hair is. It looks so much more complicated than it actually is. So I'm just taking my hair and sectioning it into two sections, one on each side, and we're gonna create two braids on each side. So that first section came from this bit of hair that's behind the ear, and I'm just braiding that, and I'm making sure to pull the braid forward so that the braid is going towards the front of my face. And then I'm going to take the front section and do the exact same thing. I kind of pull a little bit of pieces out by my ear just to keep them like little broken hair pieces falling out from the braids. I just think it looks kind of cool and effortless. And again, just braiding that, securing it with a little elastic on the end. And I'm gonna just do the exact same thing on the other side. You can see how I'm pulling the hair forwards toward my face before I do the braid. That's so the braid is going in the right direction and it doesn't like lay funny when we go to like crisscross them over the top of the head. You don't have to pull out those little pieces if you don't want them, but I like the way that it looks. And then once I've got my little braids in, I'm going to pull all of the braids apart so that they're a little bit thicker and kind of messier looking. And then I'm just gonna start basically crossing them over the top of my head. And I honestly do this differently every time. I think it kind of depends on how the braids come out. But I just decide which one I want to start with, and then I just start overlapping them, making sure to hide the little tails underneath the other braids so that it all kind of tucks in together. Obviously, you're going to need a few bobby pins here. The more bobby pins you have on hand, the better. But you can see how I'm just tucking it all in. And then I'll pin that fluffy bit of hair right there. I'm just going to take another bobby pin and just pin it into the braid so it just sits nicely like that. And for the final braid, I couldn't decide where I wanted it high or low. I think I ended up putting it, well, obviously you can see where I ended up putting it. But the placement just like depends on how I'm feeling that day. Like I kind of place them differently every time I do this. Just kind of feel it out and see how it looks. And then I'm going to just put a few more bobby pins on the crown of my head, pull the braids apart a little bit more so that you can't see my part from the top, and they're just it just looks like a big pile of braids on the top of your head. And that's it. I just kind of put a final few bobby pins in, give it a little spritz with some hairspray. I might pull some hair out from like baby hairs from around the nape of my neck. And that is seriously how simple this hair is. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Thanks guys, I'll see you in my next one.